We are on the air.
What's up?
Hello, Buttsketeers!
How's it going?
How's everybody doing this week?
Pretty good, man. So as a lot of people know, I was fired a couple weeks ago from my job, and so I've been chilling, unemployed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I sent an application into my old job that I left before because they had a position open, which is like pretty much the exact position that I was when I left. And so I have an interview on Wednesday to go back to my old job, and so we'll see how that works. But when I left, there was like it's like grown like 2 or 3 times. Like when I left, there was like 20 something people, and I think now it's over like 40 or 50, so it's like grown. So I'm hoping it's better, but it's really just like okay, well, I can just take this job and like keep looking for the other jobs I actually want to work with, but I can like at least get a full-time like paycheck and not have to worry about like being unemployed. But I'm also about to start being a beer salesman as well. My buddy owns a brewery in Greenville, South Carolina, and they launched up here in Columbia last year, and they don't have a salesperson in this territory. They don't get to come up as often as they'd like. So I'm going in on Tuesday and Wednesday and getting trained up, and then I'll start going around in Columbia and selling their beer. So I have to go in and learn the product. Learn the product, which means just to drink the beer and be like, yeah, I can detect the notes of arsenic. Is that a latent caramel that hangs upon the tongue?
This really tastes like I'm getting drunk. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, this is good.
This one's got a really good scent of, last time I drank this, I crashed my car off an open and
I've had 10 of these now, and I can't stop pissing on things. I think this is,
wow, 2015, very good vintage year. What is it? Am I getting notes of peat moss and maybe alcohol? There's alcohol in this? All right, good. That's the only thing that I'm like a snob about. Like, even in that like piece that I wrote about getting fired and whatnot, like I would stop at the gas station and I'd get like a Red's apple ale, wicked apple ale, and for the reason is that I can get it two for $5.50 or 2 for $5 at that gas station, and it's 8% alcohol. So, and it tastes like juice. So, like, it's something I can easily drink in a parking lot in my car.
Dude,
before going home to my family. But it's 8%, right? So it's like, oh yeah, why are you drinking that? And it's like, yeah, I understand it, but guess what? It's got alcohol in it, so I'm gonna drink it. Like, I'll drink Brut Cologne if I'm desperate enough.
Oh yeah, and people do that. I mean, that's like people getting drunk off of like. I know a guy who was such a big drinker. He'd be like, well, on Sundays I get up, if I wake up too early and the liquor store's not open, I got to drink all the mouthwash. And I was like, Jesus Christ. But this guy said that, yeah, to me. He said it to me in confidence, and I just shared it on the internet. So that's all.
He didn't tell us who it was, but we know it was you.
It was the person that we're about to have on as a guest. So tonight, it wasn't actually him. All right, so I just put out the link, so hopefully some people. 38 people. All right, that's not bad. So as everybody knows, tonight we're going to have Twitter superstar and King Dipshit Iron Ghazi on the show. He's going to come on in a few minutes, and he's going to talk. I think people are excited to hear and see him and hear what he's been up to. Last week we had Trill Ballins on, and that was a big success. I was very pleased. Some good feedback from that.
And I'll tell you guys too, out in my circles of people that would not immediately identify with garbage Twitter, just really enjoyed Trill, and he's very much like what you would expect, where it's like he is very smart outside of like being an idiot, right? Like that's how I like all of my friends are, right? Like we're all just gigantic idiot morons, and some of them have way better jobs than me. And whatever, but it's that idea that you can be an idiot dumbass, but still like separate it when you need to be, or you have some kind of capability of like higher thought.
Yeah.
Hopefully Ghazi's like that. Maybe he's not. Maybe Ghazi just comes on and he's like it just,
He's just like
I don't know.
holding up a picture of the map and pointing at it. Like, do you get it?
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Oh man. Oh, what about you, Tom? How's everything going?
What's that?
How's everything going?
Oh, with me, things are fine. Things are like still normal. I shaved the other day. I never shave. Like I'll trim. You know, like I use a trimmer, a little buzzy guy, makes the sound like zzz. Maybe you've heard that. And maybe you have a trimmer. I don't know. Maybe you know what a trimmer is. Maybe you don't. You can also look at the Wikipedia page of trimmers if you're also wondering, you know, what a trimmer is, where trimmers are from, that kind of thing. So I shaved the other day. Honestly, that's like the biggest thing happening in my life. I didn't get any razor burn. Also, a win.
Nice.
So that makes it a win-win.
Yo, so Tom, do you like? And Jacob, I'll ask you the question too. But do you? You can grow a good beard, right? Do you like having facial hair or not having facial hair? And does like when you have the facial hair, does it like play a part on like your psyche or like how you present yourself or like feel? I know for me, like right now, I'm like growing this this playoff unemployment beard, where it's like I just can't afford to buy razors. So like until I have a job interview, like I'm just not gonna shave, and like it makes me feel a little like not as like I don't know, like I care a little bit less when I'm unkempt like this because I can't grow a good beard. But even so, I just want to like shaven versus not. Does it change your attitude on yourself, and do you like one or the other?
Jacob, you want to? I have very strong opinions.
Well, so I just like that that Justin's first instinct was like, well, Jacob's clearly not hit puberty, but then like his brain was like, oh, I should probably ask him just to not be rude, and then
Yeah.
but no,
Well, I know, but yeah, but I mean, you might be able to grow a hell of. It's like I couldn't really grow anything in high school, but like I could grow the shit out of some mutton chops. Like
my youngest brother is in 8th grade, and he can grow a better mustache than me, like by far.
Your brother is both of your brothers are children, but also grown men. You guys have a weird thing in the water there.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're way better than me at everything, but I still get to be big brother.
Yeah, see, I was never I have a sister, so I have been a brother, but I never got to be a brother to another brother, which is what I always.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. As far as facial hair goes, I come from a line of men with very strong, thick, impressive, and well-shaped facial hair. Just all very handsome men with great facial hair, leading down to me, another great handsome man with facial hair. Sadly, I'm an idiot, unlike men who led down to me. But yeah, I feel definitely more confident when I have like a beard and some stubble growing, and like a lot of the like people in my life, and like the mostly women who will just come out and say it'll just be like, yeah, you like it's nice that you didn't shave, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, or then when I will shave, they'll be like, oh, nice, you look 12 today, cool. I'm like, well, now I'm gonna have a really great 2 days until the beard comes back, you fucking asshole. Like, I don't make comments when you do or don't shave whatever you're shaving, but it makes a big difference for me. Like, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I have relatively no control over my life and anything that I do, and so the one thing that I can like still retain power over, like, and it's like, yeah, and it's very stereotypical in that it's like, you know, you're single and you can do whatever you want. Then it's like you're in a relationship and like you can still kind of do some of the stuff you want, and then them too, and maybe they also like doing some of the stuff you like to do. So it doesn't like reduce like your ability to do things. Then like you get married and then you're living together, and then it's like, oh, okay, so like, yeah, that extra room is like no longer like an extra room. It's like now it's like a guest room that I can't use. So it's like even like less and less of your stuff you can have, and then you start losing your identity, and so and then you have kids, and then all your money goes to the kids. You have literally you cannot do anything for yourself. So I grew a mustache. I grew a shitty, just terrible mustache. Like my mustache looks like, you know, like the trailer bed of the hayride at the Terry Hott, you know, state fair or whatever, county fair.
Terry.
Twitter user The Blueprint, and this was years ago when I first grew it, and I like tweeted it out, and I was just like, please roast me, and I wanted like people to go, and he said that my mustache looked, and I will never forget this, like to this day, it's like seared in my brain. He said your mustache looks like cooked Sudafed. I don't know what that means, but it did. And so, but like I have a blonde mustache, and so like there's not a lot of people that can grow blonde facial hair, even if they have blonde hair, just like this. You know, the beard comes in brown, black, and so I just feel like this obligation of like as long as I can have a blonde mustache, I need to like I'm a torchbearer. Like I'm one of the last few. I'm like a like a ginger. You know, like those guys are going extinct in the next like 50 years. Like I've got to have this mustache, and also it's like. My wife is not good. She could very well in the middle of the night, like, just shave it off or whatever. But, like, she could say, just shave that. And I'm like, I'm not going to. Because this is the only thing I have to live for. And so, like, when I have the mustache, I do. I feel like I know it's shitty. I know that I don't really keep it that kempt. It makes me look older. It makes me look like police. It makes me look like a ton of different things. But I still, like, want it and I still like it. And then I have, and then I did shave it last year. And then I grew it back, but like during that time, I was like, okay, like I do look better, but I didn't like the way I looked. Like I was like, okay, clearly you're more handsome without it, but you know what? It doesn't feel right, like to not have it.
No,
So,
Justin, like your mustache was like big for me, like getting to know you, like before I really like knew you, and we started this whole thing and like interact a lot on Twitter. It was like the way I would remember you, other than just like your very handsome and memorable face, was your wispy blonde mustache.
yeah.
It like struck fear into my heart at the ripe old age of 24.
Yeah, and it is. It's like it's very much like the signifier or whatever the case is. But yeah, and it's back. And so eventually, like when I do have to shave for this interview on Wednesday, I'm not shaving the mustache. It's a power move. I'm going to go in there, and this person is going to be so taken aback with just this, crop circled upper lip that I have. That they'll think that I have alien powers of some kind and just give me the job.
Jesus Christ.
So since you had to shout out my hometown there for a second,
Yeah.
this weekend was Diesel Fest, which is this thing they host every year, and it's the worst decision like the town's ever come up with. It started like 5 years ago, but it's like this big event down at the fairgrounds where like anyone within 500 miles with a diesel truck comes and just like talks about having diesel trucks and like revs their engine and kind of fucks up traffic for the whole weekend. Sits in parking lots, gets like thrown out of like when I worked at Staples in college, we had to like call the cops on 15 diesel trucks just sitting in the parking lot revving their engines at 9 o'clock at night just because. But like it's like that every year. And did you guys ever hear about Bottle Girl?
Bottle Girl?
So this was this
Is that the girl who got a bottle stuck in her?
Well, it didn't get stuck in her, but she did stick it in her.
Oh, yes, Bottle Girl. Yes.
Yeah, so that was hometown Diesel Fest, and she
man,
like
Diesel Fest is
she
real.
just had like a fifth and was like shoving it up her butt and like in her vag and recorded it and put it on Facebook. So that was from Diesel Fest. That was the big Diesel Fest moment. But anyways, Diesel Fest was this weekend, and I wasn't home to enjoy it. But I'm really looking forward to the jail log tomorrow in the hometown paper. I'll be tweeting out the link whenever that comes out. There's always a lot of good stuff. I saw they broke the record for felonies with the Indiana State Police this weekend. I didn't see the number, but I know that it was more than they've ever gotten before, and there's been some good ones. So it's gonna be good.
I mean, like, no disrespect to, and I don't even. Is it Terry Hott or Terry Hout? Terry Hoat. So it's Terry Hoat.
It's not Terry either. It's like Terra, like Terra.
It's French for higher ground, and
like the Stevie Wonder song.
So it's French. Okay, well that explains it. So Terre Haute. Oh, that is very like cool and chic. But yeah, it's like I love that like what you're talking about. So two things. One, when you're talking about like the French pronunciation of stuff, I remember when I was an intern at this company, and I was in the Management Information Systems or whatever, MIS, which is basically like IT department. And one of the guys there, his name was Tim Puyer, Puye, which is like the grossest last name you can have.
Oh.
And it was like when I met him, he was very insistent on like, yes, it's Puyer. Like, yeah, hey, I'm Tim Puyer. And I'm like, okay, Puyer. And he's like, yes, Puyer. Like, making it like, yes, it's Puyer, and that's how you're going to have to say it. But then this guy, I went back like a couple years later, and he had gotten married, or he was engaged, and his fiancée made him like change the way he said his last name. Now all of a sudden he's French. This guy is like, and he very well may have had French in his lineage, but this guy is like, he's like a very like hulking, like 6'4", like 200-pound, just like dude, like a big dude. Like I don't think I've ever seen a French guy just like very brolic, but this guy is like was like that, just blonde hair, blonde eyebrow. Like I don't even know if blonde hair exists in Europe. It very well outside of Germany. I don't know if it exists. And so they tried to maintain it. Didn't happen. But this fool, his fiance made him change his last name pronunciation to Puye. All of a sudden it was French and it's Puye. It's no longer Tim Puyer, but it's Tim Puye. And I was like, man, like I don't know if I could. I respect Terre Haute for having that, and I'm still gonna call it Terry Hot. Because that's my favorite flavor of wing, hot teriyaki. Shouts out to hot teriyaki. Shouts out to teriyaki. Shouts out to hot. You combine those two together, you get a nice, spicy but sweet palate. But anyways, yeah. So there's that. But yeah, like those county town fairs. There was one at Rock Hill where I went to school, and like it comes through and like you're having a good time and whatever, and it's like, oh, it's the smallest woman in the world, and you're like kind of laughing with your buddies, and you like walk behind the the wall, and then it's like I remember this less than like 3 foot. I don't know. She was very tiny, like Indian, like kind of like West Indies lady, and she was just sitting in a rocking chair, and she was like 60, 70 years old, and she was like a great grandmother at that point. She was just like telling us about her kids and things, and like it was like immediately like not fun at all anymore. It was like, oh well, yeah, we're at the fair, yeah, let's go see the world's smallest woman or something. Hey. We walk around, she's just like telling us about her life and her kids,
let's go
and like all of her hardships.
Let's go get drunk and then hear from someone directly what it's like to have lived with a debilitating disability your whole life. Turn up. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, those county fairs, man, that shit fucks me up.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
We got to get Ghazi in here soon. We can't make him
get him in.
Do the trill.
Yeah, go ahead and get him in.
All right.
While we're inviting him and waiting for him to come on, I'd just like to say that this is blowing my mind that there are 78 people watching us while the VMAs are on. I don't know if maybe like you guys don't know the VMAs are on, and that's fine. The VMAs haven't been actually they've been great. I'm lying, but it's really really cool, and hopefully we've been funny so far, and hopefully it continues to be funny when Ghazi comes on. He's got some really good stuff in the background, and he's also hilarious. So.
Yo, and also too, like I think more so than just like, oh, it's the VMAs. To dismiss it, whether you think it's important or not, or it's part of the zeitgeist and it's pop culture or whatever. But like we know our audience cares deeply about memes. So where are the new memes being created right now? Now, would Trill tell you to buy in to the memes that are being created tonight? Cautiously. Maybe one or two are going to have lasting impact. This is a moment in time here. But we know that people care about the memes, and if you're jonesing for a fix, like the VMAs and following along with it, you're going to get some good memes. I've already seen Kanye like taking a nap in the audience. I've seen, I think Kim and Chrissy Teigen are like taking selfies while Big Sean was like making his acceptance speech. Justin Bieber's crying. Billy Ray Cyrus is just very depressed for everything that's happened in his life. But there's some good memes out there, and we appreciate that they would at least like split their time between the memes and us. So shouts out to the memes, and shouts out also to forsaking the memes in search of something higher.
Oh my God! All right.
There he is.
Speaking of memes, boss, I guess You're from your mouth to God's ear. Here we have Iron Ghazi live.
What's up, guys?
The fact that you can actually drink through the mask is amazing to me.
Drink through the mask again. Yeah, let's see him drink through the mask again.
And
All
do
right,
it
I'll
loudly.
demonstrate.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, you know, I bought this mask at Target for $10 because I could drink alcohol through the face. And I think the designers at Hasbro had that in mind when they designed it for children too. Hey, it's good to be here, guys.
Oh my God, it's so good to have you. So we've all like, if you're watching this right now, like, you probably know who Iron Ghazi is. Just like you probably, you're one of the bros, like, or chicks, or when I say dudes, I mean everybody. But like, yeah, we had to have him on. Like, he's been on like our short list for a long time, and like we're all buds, and yeah, this is very exciting for me. This is great. And personally, like, Ghazi is the reason that I'm on Twitter. Like, he's the reason, like, I met him right when I got on Twitter. We met in real life, and he was like, "You should tweet more. It's really fun once you get into it." And I was like, "Well, shit, if you say so." And then now here we are.
Yeah, you know, one of the first people I met in real life was Tombro Dude. It turned out that we were both just kind of very small-time tweeters, and we figured out that we lived in the same town. So we met up at this like local bar, and just I saw him walking into this restaurant that we were meeting at, and I was like, "That guy has clothes on. This is insane!" Like there's no present in front of his package. Like I barely recognized him, but I saw his face, and I knew that was the right person. We
So
had
you
a
guys
great
didn't-
dinner.
So y'all didn't know each other prior to online?
No.
Oh, okay. So it was forged from then. That's beautiful.
No,
Yeah.
so yeah, we met on Twitter, and so the short generic story is that I graduated college and moved down to Philly and got a job down there, and then there's a lot of big Philly tweeters, and I ran into a lot of cool people down there, but Tombro Dude ended up living very close to me. So we met up at like a local establishment, and he's turned out to be way cooler in real life than he is online, if you can believe that.
That's such a huge compliment, dude, because I'm really cool on the internet. So
yeah. The bar is so high.
it's so high. It's so high.
It was in Applebee's, wasn't it? You guys met at an Applebee's.
Yeah.
I personally don't go in Applebee's. It's kind of a thing that I have. I don't do it. So
Whoa! So I know that Jacob loves
What is
Applebee's.
this?
What
Yeah.
is it? Oh my God! We've thrown a schism of friendship.
Excuse me.
I was born in an Applebee's, and I haven't been back in an Applebee's until I die.
I have something to say. More like Crapplebee's. Thank you.
Got him. Ah, nice.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, that was it. I expected nothing less than that exact statement at some point here.
You can't tell, but I'm doing the Jim Halpert face at the camera.
So I met Ghazi. Was that like a little over a year ago now?
Oh, that had to have been like 2 or 3 years ago, honestly.
Maybe closer to 2. I don't know. But he texted me one day.
Oh,
and
you're
I
talking
lived
about
in
when
like
I'm
the
at
middle of
school.
nowhere, Indiana, and he's like, "Hey, are you working today?" It was like a Tuesday, and I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I think I'm going to be passing through like your town."
I remember that.
I was like, "What time?" And he I think it was maybe 2 o'clock, and so I just left work, and that was that was the one good thing about my old job, is that I just left whenever, and like all they required was that you were there for 8 hours a day. So if somebody saw you walking out at like 1, you just told them, "I got here at 5," and like, I left at 1 all the time, and there'd be people in the locker room just getting there because they work like a swing shift, like middle of the day, and I was like, "Yeah, I got in there at 5 in the morning. Something was wrong. So yeah, I'll see you later."
So you just got really good at doing math with 8, like just thinking like,
Oh,
all right,
man,
what time is
I
it?
can
What time
crack.
was it? What time was it 8 hours ago? All the
Yeah,
time.
tell me a time on the clock. I'll tell you what time it was 8 hours before that. But so I texted Kelsey and I was like, hey, Ghazi's passing through. He wants to stop by the house, and she said no. And I was like, do you just want me to meet you to exit? Then maybe we can grab some food or something. And Ghazi was like, no, I can just come by your house. And so I didn't tell Kelsey, and then she got off work early too. And so she's texting me as she's pulling up. I don't think I ever told you this. So she's like, I'm on my way home, and I knew she worked like 10 minutes from where we lived. And I was like, okay, well, just for the record, Ghazi is here. And so she just came in, and like it was awesome. It was wonderful. He was wearing Sperry's and socks. It was perfect. And then right after he and his fiance at the time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Right after they left, Kelsey was just like, they were really nice. I really liked meeting them. You're still in trouble. So.
Yeah, I remember actually. So yeah, Iron Ghazi was the first person that I met off of Twitter. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I was so new to tweeting at that point, and I remember like texting my girlfriend and being like, I'm meeting up with someone from Twitter, and she was like, what the fuck did you just say? And I was like, I'm meeting up with a guy from Twitter at a bar. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
always, especially if you don't have like a rapport or some kind of something, even to like some kind of connection where you can IRL it, right? It's like, oh well, we like went to the same college, like even if not at the same time, you didn't know each other, and it's like a stretch that like he went to this campus, and like something you can like relate to normal people of like this isn't actually weird, because I run into that too, where it's like. I went to with the real people. Me and him went to Carowinds together. Just two dudes, just two 20-something dudes, and going to Carowinds and riding the roller coasters together. And it's like it's hard to explain that. It's like when my mom calls, like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm at Carowinds. Oh, you took the family to Carowinds? No. Oh, so you went by yourself? No, I'm meeting someone. Oh, like who? And it's like a guy that like. I like tweet things too. It's like it's very hard. It's very hard to like even like make that sound not weird. But yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, honestly, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I want to have Ghazi talk about like his memes, like his shit, because like Trill, like he's a very influential meme creator, and like a lot of things that become commonplace. And like if you search the terms now, you see, hundreds every week and like totaling thousands of tweets about some random shit that like this dude here made up. So like I don't know, Ghazi, like please explain more. Like we need to get you talking as much as possible.
All right.
Don't let us overrun you with our ugly.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to monopolize the podcast here, but I do want to talk about how when I met, I've never had the pleasure of meeting Boss Sauce, and hopefully someday I will. But I've been a huge fan of you ever since I came across you on Twitter. But I have met Oh Holy Butt and Tom Bro Dude, and you guys are both amazing. As I said, I met Tom Bro Dude in a local bar when we realized we met in the same town. And as Oh Holy Butt mentioned, I was driving to Missouri, and we stopped in Terre Haute, where he lives, and he knows that Mrs. Ghazi is a real person, so he can confirm that I have had sex.
Wow.
Well, you claim to.
Heard it here first.
I think she would also have to confirm for it to be an official confirmation that you've had sex, but you.
Yeah, I can't confirm you've had sex. I can confirm you convinced someone to walk into my house with you.
Okay, fair enough. So I convinced let's say I paid a random girl at a gas station to come in my car with me and go to some random house in Indiana. So we sat down and talked with Oh Holy Butt and Kelsey for, I don't know, an hour, maybe a little more. It was great. You know, I just it's the same. It's exactly what Trill Ballin said last week. You know, we act a certain way online, but then you sit down with someone and realize like you're just normal, like boring people. You know, outside of your jokes, you're just like, oh yeah, I go to work, I do this, I work for this company, I work for this whatever. Eh, we're all so lame. It's so good that people on Twitter can't see what we're saying right now because they would know that we're so boring and lame if they saw this. I'm
Yes.
so glad you did this whole thing private and no one.
Yeah, it's not live,
Perfect.
and no one will ever see this. So we can.
Thank God.
It's very
Like
private.
a boring normal person in an Iron Man mask as Tony Stewart's face scrolls behind you. Like,
Oh, wait.
it was beautiful.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that there was something going on behind me. It's very weird. Let me turn my camera away from that so we can see what's going on the other side of me, which is well, that. I mean, I can't explain that. That's just a marvel of engineering right there. That's 30 miles away from me.
That's 30 miles away.
Yeah, that might look like it's 5 feet behind me, but it's miles away, and it's extremely tall.
Those are some massive blinds next to you. Then those must be at least 15 miles wide.
Sorry, let me frame those out. Anyway, yeah. So let's get back on topic here.
Well, and like what you said, I mean, and you kind of, I know I always kind of deal with it too. It's like what your Twitter persona or what you're at least putting out in the world versus what you are in real life. Are you? And I would assume because I think I know you enough because you know Tom and Jacob and I know them, but like. It's not necessarily that you're not like that at all. Like you might be doing these kinds of jokes, and you're clearly not gonna. Well, maybe you are. Maybe like maybe to Mrs. Ghazi, that you're just there, just always like, yeah, more like Crapplebees, like whatever, like making those jokes all day. Maybe you are, but like just that sense of humor, you're just channeling it into something else, and it's not like like you said, like is a lame versus interesting online or whatever. It's just like that's who you are, and you're channeling it, and there might be a disconnect, but like it's all really at the root like the same person.
Yeah, honestly, Tom and Jacob and numerous others who I've met in real life could probably tell you I really am very close to my online persona, aside from the fact that I don't make 9/11 jokes as much around like my real friends and family, but aside from like jokes about 3,000 people dying in like 2 hours, I am very, very close to my online persona. I make like the shitty jokes. I make the same shitty jokes every day, and Mrs. Ghazi, like, she loves it. So. Yeah, I mean, there's no surprises with me. Tom, Jacob, you could probably comment on this. Like, I probably wasn't that surprising when you met me compared to what you see online. Trilladelphian is a good example of a tweeter who would know as well. We've spent a lot of time together, and I'm very close to my online persona, which I don't know. That's pretty lame. That's the dumbest thing ever to say, but it's true.
No, it's nice. I mean, like none of us are. I mean, like we've all got our real, like our who we really are on here. I don't know. I think we all do a pretty good job of like sticking close to just portraying ourselves, just being ourselves online, and we're not like some weird closeted freak in real life who can't hold a conversation. Like that's.
Well, speak for yourself.
It doesn't happen a lot, but like, yeah, it's the worst when like someone has like a very colorful online persona, or at least just like very open and comfortable, and you're like, oh yeah, this must be a normal person who can speak and look me in the eyes, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, it's not a normal person, and they can't speak and they can't look me in the eyes. Like, what the fuck is this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, because we met on the internet. That's my fault.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that I'm wearing a mask now, I would, I would like to think that when I meet people in real life, I'm pretty affable. I don't know. That's just my idealized version of myself. Probably doesn't reflect reality at all, but that's just how it is.
No, I mean it's important to be a real life person too. It's like super important, and that's one of the reasons why like I enjoy that we do this, and like that we're kind of like we all are pretty psyched on the idea of getting guests on here, because like there's a lot of other people out there who are like, hey, I'm putting in work on Twitter.com, but guess what? Real me is super good too. You might like him.
No one gives a fuck about real life you. That's the thing. But like, if I told you about my real life, no one would care.
I just mean the image of a person. The things I actually do in my personal life and spare time are awful, and no one wants to hear about them or be involved with them in any way. Yeah.
You couldn't be more wrong. Everyone wants to hear about what you're doing in your personal life.
That's because I live a self-destructive life like a fucking...
Exactly.
Yeah. It's good. It's all...
All
do it all for the tweets.
All right, you know what? I've got an outline here that I want to stick to, and I gotta get on because I sent you guys this outline like last week or 2 weeks ago, and we haven't even touched it yet.
Dude, like you gotta get into that, please.
Just start talking, man.
Yeah, the stage is yours.
Yeah, we're gonna fire through this. All right. So my return to Twitter. All right. So in the 5 months I was gone, I was working on the couch. Obviously, you can see it back there in the distance. I was really tall. Very cool. I was also developing this new armor, which is very good. I keep having to close it with my hand because it was designed for a 10-year-old child. So, as some of you who were in on the ground floor of the Iron Ghazi brand might have remembered, I had an actual helmet where the eyes lit up and it fit me because it was made for adults. I had that, and then I smashed it with my bare hands one night in a catharsis type of thing. I was like, yeah, 2 months, removed from Twitter. I'm just done. I'm gonna smash this thing. I don't need it anymore. Like,
How drunk were you?
I was extremely drunk, very drunk, like at least 3 times as drunk as I am right now. So, I smashed this thing, which I bought for like $25 online, and then put like hours of work into to make the eyes light up and have a switch back here so I could switch them on and whatever.
I was there through the process. I was there.
Yeah, you were.
The mask, and then I remember when you bought the mask, I came over one night. Like we would just basically just go to Ghazi's house and just get fucking blackout drunk every night. And the first night, he got the mask, and then like I went back a couple nights later, and he was like, yeah, I wired it. I'm wiring it, and I was like, you're what? Like, what the fuck is that? I couldn't believe it, but like, guys, you're very, very, very resourceful, very good with your hands, very talented, and.
Oh, don't tell him everything, buddy.
Eventually, it was just I mean, it was like the real thing, and it got very serious. And there's actually a good Vine out there of me wearing it and just dry humping like this, but I don't know where that went.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite Vine. I don't know where it is, but it's my favorite one.
Keep.
All right, so. Alright, so I developed a new armor. It still needs some testing. It's pretty bad. You see, it comes open like this. Oh. So basically, I was gone. I was off of Twitter 5 months, and I was perfectly meant to be back. And here's the thing. I was never planning on coming back until I started watching you guys. I watched 3 Buttsketeers episode, like, I don't know, 6 maybe, and you guys were talking about memes.
Which was like two years ago. Episode 6 was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, you guys were just talking about whatever, and it had no relevance to what was going on at the time, but it was making me miss interacting with you guys because let's be honest, like when I logged off of Twitter, I stopped keeping in contact with Tom and you, Jacob, and everybody else basically who I had ever interacted with on Twitter, people I met through Twitter. So, I basically said, we have a group text that was rarely ever used, and I just randomly texted you guys one night, and I said, I think I want to come back. And Tom started egging me on. He was like, well, you should tweet. Like, that would be really cool. Like, everyone would go crazy, blah, blah, blah. And for some backstory for people who might not know, when I decided to log off,
God damn it! Wait, hold on, Ghazi. I think we lost your audio there.
So for what it's worth, when he says that our group text was rarely utilized, it was really only utilized when he would think of some like really offensive shit that he would normally tweet and couldn't share with anyone else in like regular life.
Yeah, we've all got those group chats and those group texts where you go in there first to bounce off the things where you're like, this one could really get me in trouble, but I got to show it to my best friends first, and then once they laugh, I'll feel confident out there.
Need to check and see if this one's going to get me thrown in jail.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's just he's frozen in time here. Can we
Venmo him quarters to put in at the library to re-up his time at the internet cafe?
The people at the internet cafe are really
free AOL days.
I'm gonna send out the link. We did a Kickstarter to help Ghazi re-up his AOL free hours, and so yeah, so exactly. I didn't get to ask him this, and hopefully he'll pop back in and we'll figure. Oh, is he back?
Hello.
There we go.
Hey, bitch.
Hey, sorry. So I think my.
Oh, you sweet tender bitch.
I think I forgot to pay my Comcast bill.
Wait, you have to pay that?
No, you don't have to.
Fuck Comcast. Last time I had a Comcast bill, my name's not on the Comcast bill here. Last time I had a Comcast bill, I didn't pay the last few months of it, and I got to the point where they're like, dude, we're going to shut off your service if you don't pay. And I was like, well, I timed it right because I'm moving out now, bitch. And then I had all the hardware, like all the stuff that they give you, and then they're like, all right, well, if you don't want Comcast ever again, you got to give this stuff back. Otherwise, you got to pay for it. I didn't give it back. I kept it, and I didn't pay for it. And then one of it I gave to my dad, and then one I smashed. So.
Nice.
I had an apartment by myself. There was apparently I owed something on the end when I moved out for electricity. So when Kelsey and I got our house together, we tried to sign up with the same electricity company. And when I tried to sign up for it, they were like, "Yeah, you still owe us like $200," and I didn't want to pay that. So I was like, "All right, you just call, set it up in your name." And when she called, they asked if she was living with anybody else, and she told them my name.
No!
Oh, you silly bitch.
I was so mad.
Oh, you silly bitch.
She texted me and she was like, hey, give me a call. So I called, and she goes, yeah, hey, so when I called Duke, they asked if I was living with anybody, and I panicked, and I told them that your name, and I was like, all right, I'll get $200.
Yes, he's delinquent here. We've got his picture on the wall.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So go ahead, Ghazi. Oh, is he off?
He
dropped back off?
He really did.
Yeah, what are y'all's internet speeds, man? I feel like I used to sell and optimize like the stuff and whatnot. Like I feel like I need to come to your house and install like some repeaters or something. Like run some speed tests. What are you guys on? You getting a meg out in Indiana yet? I'm sure up in Philly you guys are at least on megabit service. You know, Indiana, I don't know. Are you still dialing in?
My internet's pretty good, I think.
Jacob has to start his internet by kicking a dog outside that then has a rope attached to it that runs. The rope creates friction around the post, and then that, through another series of events, leads to
You can't
eventually.
see it, but I'm pedaling furiously underneath the desk to keep my computer on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my only hope for ever getting my name on a Comcast bill or Pico, which is the electricity and water provider here, is to live with someone else who will put their name on it, because both of those companies will not give me service.
No, I don't want to get off on the tangent before Gazi gets back, but that is very much like what I want to talk about later, because we know a lot of kids are going back to school, and that's one of the things. Like, we want to give tips. We want to give tips to the students, and that's one of the things about living with other people and bills and whatnot. So Gazi's back.
I'm back.
Very, very 2 Chainz voice. Gazi's back.
Hey, sorry guys, I drunkenly closed Safari, and I just killed the whole thing.
Oh, Safari, that's like Internet Explorer, but the one Steve Jobs made, right?
For an
Yeah,
internet
that's-
superstar, you're really shitty at the internet.
I'm a Twitter superstar only. You know, I do it on mobile, and you're forcing me to go back to my like fucking 7-year-old piece of shit computer. And Steve Jobs can fucking go die. Oh wait, you know what? He already did. So.
And, yeah, is the famous
Steve Jobs
is-
is a big dead bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know that famous quote by I believe it's Tom Brodude or Benjamin Franklin. Steve Jobs is a big dead bitch.
Steve Jobs is a big dead bitch, and I'm happy he's dead because he's making me quit my whole fucking all 3 tabs of my Safari at once.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's
So
a
what were we talking about before I quit because I'm too drunk to be here?
I think you had just
You were
started,
talking about coming back.
Dick. Yeah.
All right, so I came back. It's because
From
of
the
you
group,
guys.
in the group text.
Yeah, it's because of you guys. You know, honestly, I watched your show. I missed the memes. I missed you guys. I met a lot of cool people on Twitter. It's basically because of you guys that I came back. And the night that I came back, I basically texted Tom and said, should I tweet? And he said, hell yeah, do it. So I tweeted at myself, which... So I guess the backstory that I was explaining before I disconnected is that I deleted my old account, switched my name over to a new account, and then tweeted one thing that said, actually Hitler was Catholic, as like my dying breath for like all of humanity to see, you know. And then it turned out that, you know, I could just use that as a joke to come back. So I tweeted at myself and said, no, actually, he was atheist. Which, of course, got, you know, hundreds and hundreds of retweets within the first couple hours. And then, you know, I basically had nearly 1,000 followers by the next day, which was awesome. Like, the people who came back were very excited to see me back.
I was so excited for you to come back, and I was like, I bet he'll have more followers than me again by the end of the week, and it took like 36 hours.
Yeah, quite honestly, it was very cool because I had like 1,300 followers by noon the next day, and it was so awesome. Like the people who follow me are wonderful. They are so validating, and if that was the only thing that I needed to feel good about myself, that would be fantastic. And that would literally prevent me from wanting to die.
But it's not enough, so you do want to.
No, I still want to die, but you know, it's pretty good. So,
Yeah, well, that's you bring up an interesting point, and I mean, for me, I've been not necessarily busy, but I mean, I have been like trying to do other stuff away from Twitter, and maybe because you embrace garbage Twitter and just the landfill of digital of media that you've created, and that you're on top of the heap like a fucking rat king, just looking over his empire. But like for me, like when I read Twitter, when it's like you feel it's so fucking cyclical. And yes, there's the the jokes of like, oh, the topics, like we're talking about ass eating or we're talking about X, whatever it is, But like even so, just like just like some event happens, these people get mad beyond belief for like attention retweets. You like no fun can be had, like you whatever, and it's like it's so draining. And so I've been away from it, but I found there's still the few people that I care about, like that I want to like catch up on, like keep in contact with and whatnot. And so yeah, but like with Twitter, it's like I used to like live and breathe that shit, and I still do. I still want to be on it, and I still will die for the tweets. But like I can't be on it for 6 hours a day at my job, even though I don't have one now. But even so, like with that stretch of time anymore, it's like it's so draining. There's just there's 100 people or so really that like I want to know every thought that they had that they put out on Twitter and everything that they did. Because it's comforting or whatever. Like there's a relationship there that's beyond just like, hey, you follow me and you retweet me sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's very difficult to balance Twitter in real life because, I actually have a pretty important job, which I won't talk about here, but, I
He's the floor manager at the dick sucking factory. It's fine.
I am the manager at the dick sucking factory, and it's very difficult to balance being able to tweet and being able to manage dick suckers. It's very difficult, and I have a reputation to uphold. I've never been owned, and I never will be, and it's just tough. It's tough to maintain such a high stance on the internet and be doing other things at the same time. And I just wish people would realize that. And when people try to own me, which is just a foolhardy exercise in general, it's just I have a very hard job in that I have two jobs. I have one job which is not getting owned online, which I'm very good at. And the other job is being the manager at the dick sucking factory, which I'm also very good at.
You are very good. Our production has increasst significantly.
The ROI has gone up. Morale has also increased. Workplace injuries have gone down. There hasn't been any ruptured tonsils in a number of months.
Really good results on our exit interviews with employees who are using the dick sucking factory as kind of a springboard on other things. You've just been really great, but enough about the dick sucking factory.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Stewart killed a guy. Very good results at the dick sucking factory. So, everyone knows these things, though. I want to move on to my next point, which is that. The maps. Let's talk about the maps. People are mad online about maps. And I just don't understand, because maps are pretty much inarguable. They're incontrovertible. You see a map online and you're like, well, that's true, but let me argue it. And that's a lot of people who have interacted with me in the past month. I came back and posted a series of maps, and a lot of people got mad online about it, and I just don't understand, because you can't argue with maps. They're visual. They're there.
You created quite a buzz in the cartographer community. There's heated debates. There's been if you go into their forums, they are livid. They're not. They are arguing facts. And I don't understand how they do it. I guess because they think they went to school for, I guess, a trade or a job that seemingly a second grader can do, that they feel some kind of need to validate their importance. And the cartographer community is up in arms with you.
It just makes no sense, because you see the map and you're like, wow, that's there, and why should I argue with it? But people do. So it just, I don't understand. It's there, plain as day. Someone made it, so it must be true. I don't understand.
Just to clarify, although everyone who's watching should know what we're talking about, because if you're watching and you don't know what we're talking about, then why the fuck are you watching this anyway? But Ghazi made a map where was it all of the other continents on the on the Earth, on the globe that we live on, fit into the United States, because
So,
which is not inaccurate. I'm not
I mean,
saying what's right and what's wrong. I'm not a
yeah,
cartographer. You know, I
no.
dropped out of college like twice, but
So the very first map in the scandal, the very first map was sent to me by a friend of mine about a month before I came back to Twitter, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I post this on Twitter?" Or I actually said, "Do you mind if I post this online?" And he said, "No, no, absolutely, go ahead and do that." So I said, "Okay," and I posted it on Facebook, and there were like 20 likes or whatever, because people I'm friends with on Facebook don't think that funny things are funny. So about a month later, I came back on Twitter, and then I was like, okay, it's time. Like, I got to post this on Twitter. So I posted this thing, and it ignited a fucking hurricane of, like, full diapers. Everyone was pissed. Everyone was nude and red and totally mad online. Like, oh my god, it was pathetic. Like, in the first couple days, I still had people from the first day arguing with me about it. They're like, no, no, that's impossible. Africa's much larger than the United States, completely ignoring the fact that North America as a whole was pictured over top of what essentially is Pennsylvania and, like, West Virginia. Like,
I can never. I'm always so shocked. Like the way that you and like our other guest Trill Ballins, like the way that you guys are like king trolls, and it doesn't really to say that kind of. Is that an oxymoron when you say two things that are conflicting? A king troll, that really doesn't make much sense. But like you
no, it makes sense.
the way you bait people is, I mean, I can just never. I can't believe when I wake up every day and I log on and I'm like, oh my god, like they found someone else to take the bait and they took it bad, and then like once the idiot gets your bait, you don't just reel him in. It's like if you watch someone go fishing, but then every time they hooked a fish, they just took the fish out of the water and swung that thing like a fucking helicopter and smashed it into a tree.
Yeah, you know what? That's that is honestly what we try to do. I don't want to speak for Troll Ballins, but he's obviously a huge inspiration to me, and I respect him immensely. But honestly, what we both do is we lure people in with with a premise that is very stupid and very easy to prove that you're smart against. And then those people come in, they're like, no, actually, and then we just expose how dumb they are. We go out and say, Tony Stewart is a murderer, or the whole North American continent fits within Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Virginia, and then people come in droves and say, no, that map is inaccurate, and then we just retweet that out to our followers and say, oh, are you sure? Is that, they say, oh no, Africa's much larger than that, and we say, is that the only problem you found with the map?
Yeah. So I pulled his tweet up here. So I think when I talk and it goes to me, I should be sharing my screen. So there it is. So he has a map of the contiguous United States, and within that he has all the continents, but then also North America, all of North America with like Greenland attached as well within that. And so exactly what you're saying, and I think that that's the beauty of it, and not to say that, and it is just like manipulating people online, but you're not going out of your way for this. Okay, so if I didn't know you guys, and this came across as like most people don't realize just how vast our great nation is, truly amazing, and I saw that, I would go, that's funny. Like, I'm not going to correct you because you're putting false information out that I think is harmful to other people or something, It's like to see that, but there are people that like are so like just indignant and like self-absorbed where they like need to be the person. They're the one person that speaks out and like topples your empire. It's like, oh well, actually, and then you go, oh my god, dude, like you're right. Like, I don't know. Let me delete this tweet. But then they get so exactly. You bait them into that. Then they're in the conversation, and all it takes is one or two like just little interactions with them, and then they go off the deep end sometimes, and just like expose just how smart they think they are, and it's like you at the end of the day you are arguing with someone who did this on purpose, and you're choosing to like continue this because you want to prove to someone out there that you don't know that like is looking at these interactions that like maybe you're a smart person. Like it's very sad.
You know, honestly, I would never, even if I was not a troll on Twitter, I would never look at that image and say, you know what, I need to earnestly reply to whoever posted that and say, you know what, I don't think that's accurate. I never would look at that and say that, because I would look at that and say that whole fucking continent that country is encompassed in is on that image. How do people get tricked into arguing about this shit? Like, you must have to... I just don't know. Like, you have to be extremely stupid and think you're extremely smart. That's just what it is, and that is the crux of my brand and the crux of Trill Ballin's brand. Like, we prey off of people being extremely dumb and think that they're extremely smart. That's just how it is, and it's great. That's what we do. It's so easy too, because you know and when I say profited, I don't mean profited money-wise. I mean I profit interaction-wise, I guess. I don't know. I profited off of the Hitler was an atheist thing.
I mean, if you like, for legal reasons, we cannot allow Iron Ghazi to say his clout score on the podcast because it will cause several people to just vomit on themselves and to go into seizures. So when he's saying profit, we're talking money, but also know that social currency wise, I mean, the man is very rich, but just for legal purposes, we can't say it. It's higher than 69.
Speaking of sponsors and money, I just wanted to thank tonight's sponsor, Wawa.
Oh, for fuck's sake! No.
They've got great hoagies and sandwiches, and
no, they don't.
And coffee, and this is a packet of some artificial sweetener that I got there. They actually sent me a few thousand of these just for giving a shout out. So it's pretty rad. I just wanted to thank Wawa. Have a Wawa. That's their slogan.
Jesus Christ!
Gotta have a Wawa. Gotta have a Wawa.
Well, I would also like to thank a company that I truly believe in. Not a company that gave me money, mind you, but Labatt Blue Royale. That's really good. They didn't give me any money to say this, but drink it and buy it.
That bottle looks like Iron Man's dick.
Well, you're going to see that later if you paid for the bonus content.
All right.
Oh, yeah, so I'm glad that we finally... I think this is a record. I don't know how long we've been live. I would assume more than 10 minutes, I think. There has not been one mention of dicks until now. So now what we need to do is devolve into that, and we're going to... And any person that comes on, and then also, obviously, we'll update everyone with our own trauma, our own dick trauma. Sure. But any guest that comes on has to do a dick story. And so, Ghazi, I don't know if you were prepped for that, but you gotta tell us about a time that you injured your nether regions.
Definitely talk about
it. I do have a story, and I have a story of a person that I know. That story is even better than my story, but do you guys want to recap your stories before I go into mine?
I honestly, I have more dick stories than we could ever do episodes, so.
In the last week, the only thing that happened to me, I did sit on my balls. I was in a rush to shit, and they were dangling, and I just came too low on the back. Backing it in on the parallel park, and I squished him, and it wasn't fun. It hurt.
I hurt Well, I guess just to like an update. Like I won't tell a story because I have a lot of them. But like I had a talk with my dad the other day. Like I was on my bike and like I crushed one of my nuts really really bad, and I called him and I was like, I can't go more than like a week without hurting my like or my balls. Like what is that? Like why can't I protect them? And it's always been like this. And like I can't really go a week without like just getting injured in one way or another. Like I just live a very stupid life and I get hurt a lot because I do a lot of reckless shit. But um, yeah, I crushed one of my nuts super bad, and there's been pain lingering now, and it's been a while. It's been long enough that there shouldn't be pain anymore. But I don't have health insurance, so like there's nothing I can do about it.
So if anybody out there is a doctor willing to check on Tom's balls for free, that'd be great.
Actually, yeah, there's another guy. I think he might also write for SB Nation. SBNU God. He hit me up one time and was like, "Yeah, dude, I actually like I do those operations. Like some medical professionals have approached me on Twitter after these and been like, hey, like if you're ever in this area and like you need a hernia surgery, like which I do, they'll be like, yeah, I'll fix that for you." Like,
Okay, SP and you got Mark. He's awesome. He's also a vet. So I don't know if his tools will work.
if he can just get one of those, guns in there and
Because
just.
he's always tweeting about working on horses. So
Dude, I'm
I
sure.
don't know, I feel like whatever they stick in there, I mean, I don't know.
I'm a thoroughbred, so he'll probably know his way around this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tom definitely has the haunches of a stallion. That's for sure.
I was dropped when he was a baby.
Yeah, and so I guess before Gazi goes, I have continued to take care of my dick and balls. So
Okay, listen. All right. So, Jacob, you continue to lie, saying you've never had a dick injury.
I didn't say I've never had a dick injury. I've just been like very good at taking care of it. And so I didn't hurt it this week, which it seems like Justin and Tom, but like every week they're doing something to damage it.
All right. I have a dick injury story that didn't happen this week, but it did happen during my lifetime, which I guess qualifies it for this podcast.
Since Gazi said he'd talk about his dick, we went up like 4 viewers.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me get the couch in the background here. So, for those of you who just joined, this is the world famous Lego couch, which is 30 miles away, very tall. Anyway, so what I was saying is that here's my genital story. I do not have a dick injury story per se, but I do have a nutsack injury story. I have 2 actually.
It's all fair game. Anywhere beneath the belly button and above wherever your balls hang. That's
Yeah. So,
I consider that whole area my dick. Like when I say my dick, I could be talking about something like over here, but I still am talking. I'm gonna say my dick. Anyway, please continue.
So, I used to go, and still do, go to the beach in Delaware every year with my family. And especially as a child, we would go every year because it was free for me. And as an adult, I'm sure you guys know that vacations are extremely expensive. And when you go with your parents, it's extremely free, which is awesome. But, you know, I used to go and still do go with them down to Delaware. And I would be in the ocean like, let's say, 8 hours a day, every day, for like 2 straight weeks. It was awesome. However, towards the end of the 2 weeks, it seemed like something was not quite right. So I would go into the bathhouse and, you know, inspect the downstairs area, and then realize that there was a problem. So I looked at my nutsack, and on the nutsack, there looked like what was like the line of like a zipper, where it goes like this, down like the center line of the nutsack, and I determined that it was because of the salt. Like the salt from the ocean, from being in there all that time had, like burned the center line of my nutsack out, and it had created this like disgusting, awful, like bloody line down through the center of my sack. So I'm like, I'm trying to make sense of this, and I'm like a 14-year-old boy who's also trying to like hook up with all these chicks at the beach, because that's the best thing about going to the beach. It's like, you're not in your hometown, you're with all these girls who also that you know from all the years past, and you're all down there at the same time, but you've got this zipper line of blood, like a bloody zipper line on your sack. Like, I don't know what to do, and I can't go in the ocean because it really hurts, because I mean, you've got a bloody line on your nutsack, and you go into the ocean with this pure salt, and it's just awful. I don't know what to do.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine
So
if you were at the beach with people that like you respected or loved, or at least just like were normal people, like even strangers, and like you got out of the water and there was blood coming through the dick of your swimsuit? Like everyone knows that like something serious happened. Like you didn't get a cut on your thigh and then like the blood somehow appeared near your dick because the pants moved. Like it's clear that like, oh god, like this dude just like, if you see him you're just like, that guy that just came out of the water was bleeding from his dick. Like, did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm there with my parents and my family, and that's all I have.
The salt like cured, and when I not like cured like healed, but like meat cured, it like jerkied your nuts.
Yeah,
like that's what it is. Like, and I know what you're talking about, because I'm a little. This is a tangent, but I know a lot of my friends. Like, I shave my scrot. Like, I'm down there, I'm getting the hairs off. I got friends that like they won't put a razor to their scrot, but like because I have been shaving my scrot since 8th grade, I know what you're talking about. There's a line there, and it goes from your dick shaft around down, and then connects to like your stitching on your taint.
I'm looking at
it. Basically, God like took a skeleton and then put like a human suit over it and like fit it, and then like he had to sew it up somewhere so all the stuff wouldn't just fall out.
What is
and that's
that
your
line?
taint.
That line. No one ever talks about that line.
No one knows what that line's for, and you know what? When you go in the ocean for more than 2 weeks, guess what? It turns into a fucking zipper line, and it's all blood.
It's actually, if you do spend enough time to get it to the point where you can unzip it, you unlock a whole mess of stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly the balls.
Yeah, mainly just your nuts are out now. It's like, oh, yeah, now my nuts are exposed. But no, I know exactly. But oh my god, dude, I have never. I'm trying to think. I've never cut my. I know Tom has. I don't know if Tom, have you ever like where there's like blood on your dick where you cut it or something? I don't think you've ever. Yeah. You've mangled it by mashing it and stuff, but you never cut it, right?
No, I did cut it. There was that one. I think I told. I'll refresh the story real quick. It was very early on in Buttsketeers. I think I told the story about. Oh Jesus, maybe I didn't. I hope I did. Where I was jerking off with. Oh my God, I had. Someone told me to use Vaseline, and I was like, yeah, Vaseline.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I had these 2 incidents happen in succession, basically, where I accidentally used petroleum jelly instead of hand lube. So I jerked off with like wax, more or less, and then tried to clean it up. Ended up using a comb from the bathroom. I broke the comb, and then anyway, cleaned it all up, jerked off again with a long nail and sliced. So yes, on a downstroke, I have pierced the lining of the penis.
God.
Dude, I've never had blood like coming out of there, and I've never other than like maybe shaving like my mons pubis or whatever, like maybe I like cut myself or something, but I've never had that. I've peed and saw like blood in my urine, like where my pee was like pink, and
No,
I was like,
I've never gotten that.
This is not good, and went to CVS to the Minute Clinic and was like, yo, I think, yeah, like I like brought him in a, I brought in a sample of my what I thought was blood-soaked urine to the CVS Minute Clinic because I didn't have a general practitioner, and so I was just like, I didn't know what they could do, but they were definitely like, yeah, you need to go to like the hospital. And so there was definitely like blood in my urine, but like I remember walking in. Well, like I don't know what I was thinking. I walked into CVS. I was like, "This is my urine. Like, look at this. This is not good." And it was in like a small like Tupperware container. It wasn't even like a, it was just like a Snapware or whatever.
20-year-old girl who's only trained in like counting to 60, like for pills. You're just like, here's my piss. Can you do anything about this?
Yeah, I mean, like I took a ton of pictures, and like I mean, you know too, like when you see like a beautiful sunset that looks like cotton candy, pink and blue cotton candy, and you're like, hey, I want to take a picture of this, like capture this beautiful moment, and like your camera like is taking it, and then you look at the picture like, okay, this is clearly not the same fucking thing that I'm seeing. So like I was taking like a pictorial with like changing the lighting. I brought in like a separate fluorescent like work light, like tried to switch out from a compact fluorescent to to an LED to change it to get like the kelvins to try to get it right. But yeah, I took like a bunch of pictures. I was like, okay, this is not good, right? But yeah, I've never had the blood on the penis, and like that's scary, man. Like if I looked and I saw like that trail of like just whatever down my scrot, like oh my god, I would be. I'm never going in the ocean again. That's why you should never go to the ocean. Don't get in the water. Go
Honestly,
to the beach.
like,
Be at the beach. Don't get in the water.
In my childhood, that was the most like traumatizing thing I've ever experienced. It was terrible. I was like, is God punishing me for like fingering the 3 girls that I fingered last year? Like, because I was like 12. That's what you do when you go to the beach, right? You hook up with girls and you whatever. I don't know. That's what I did when I went to the beach. I don't know. Anyway, but you know what? Let me tell you another story about beach penis things. So everyone thinks that sex on the beach is like the coolest thing ever, right? Well, anyone who ever says that has never attempted to have sex on a beach at nighttime on the east coast of the United States. Because guess what? There are sand fleas, and you know where they're going to bite you? Everywhere, especially on your dick. Because
oh god,
me and Mrs. Ghazi tried to have sex on. Well, we did have sex, but we had sex on a beach at nighttime on the East Coast, and guess what happened? We had the worst bug bites from sand fleas ever.
Whoa.
It was the worst.
Whoa.
It's like, oh, this is so romantic. Just kidding. We feel terrible forever.
Sand fleas are drawn to the smell of human liquids, so once you have dropped the pants, you're basically just calling for the sand fleas.
That's what a sand flea looks like?
No.
I'm just like sand fleas. That looks like a miniature horseshoe crab. That's not. I mean, this is I can see the bites here.
It was actually a full horseshoe crab came up behind them.
But I'm looking at sand fleas. Okay, because like that would creep me out if these things are just.
Yeah, no, that's a sand crab.
Okay.
A lot of people call those sand fleas. I don't know why, but sand fleas are like very small, very microscopic. Like you can't see them when they're biting you, but that's a sand crab is what you're showing.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. No, you can if a wave comes in, you scoop those up in the sand. You can scoop up several of those. Those are sand crabs.
And then you eat them, right?
Yeah. You just eat them, and they're delicious.
Okay, now I see this other sand flea thing. Okay, all right. Because in a second I was like, those are clearly crawling on your dick. Like, there's no way if they're gonna like bite you. Like, It's not like, oh, this is a flea or a gnat
No.
that you can't really tell. That's like clearly a small horseshoe crab that is climbing on your back.
No, you would notice if those were crawling on your dick.
My favorite euphemism for sex on the beach is making pearls. It's like saying it's gonna get in your lady's womb, and a couple months later you're gonna have a set of earrings to give her.
Absolutely, that does happen. Sex on the beach is a very overrated and bullshit experience. Don't do it.
As a sexpert, sexpert Iron Ghazi, you heard it here first.
As a-
Beach sex, very overrated.
As a person who's had sex, just look at
Justin-
me.
Justin-
Look at this, and look at that, and look at everything that's going on in this room. I have had sex, and listen to me as far as sex advice goes.
It's like the strongest advice against never having sex ever. It's just like, look around this room, look at the mask I'm wearing. You don't want to have sex. It's bad for you.
Look at the mask I'm wearing. Let's not have sex.
It's very true.
I think that I don't know the whole progression of how of evolution and what's true and what's not, and did we come from ocean dwelling beings? And probably yes, maybe I don't know. Like I said, been in and out of school, so that kind of stuff. I've done some partying and forgotten some things, but I think that there are some theories that suggest we come from water dwelling, sea dwelling creatures, salty seas are where.
Yes, everything came from the sea.
But the thing that I think separates us from whenever there was like a clear line between like fish and humans. This line right here between the fish and the humans is when we grew a dick, and that dick was not suited for salt water. Like, I too have felt the effects of salt water on my penis.
Yeah, it hurts.
Very bad experience. Around the same time, we may have actually been experiencing our saltwater dick problems at the same time, which is crazy because we're very close in age. This was when I was like around 12, 13. And
you guys got the same salt water in your dicks.
oh my god, that would be awesome.
That's like you guys have had sex.
It's basically like I put my
You know
dick.
what?
inside
I
his-
guys
honestly
are-
don't understand why we haven't had sex yet, and if we did, and we did it on camera, we could probably sell tickets. And
We blacked
Yeah.
out together a few
You
times.
guys
So we might have had sex.
yeah,
You
it's
guys
true.
you guys both have that acrid Delaware Ocean dick water. You guys are crustacean bros, have the same Delaware dick water in you, and it's fucked up your dicks all your lives, but that's where you bonded before you even knew that you guys were in the same city online admiring each other. That was like what cosmically brought you guys together.
Well,
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
That's
story.
true. That's
the
true.
same roots, but it's tough when you get dick tip irritation. It's real tough because like you gotta basically like. Well, your thing with the balls is honestly horrific. That is so gnarly. I've never cut the balls. I've smashed the balls a lot. Never cut the balls. Cut and smash the dick though. So I know.
Honestly, the worst part of that was that, as a teenager, I was literally IMing people, and by people I mean girls. And, the girls that I was hooking up with every year, our families went to the beach each and every year. So, at the same time. So, I was trying to plan my extravaganza with them each year, and it was tough because I was like, you know what, I can't probably hook up with you this year because I'm there, but my nutsack is bleeding.
Yeah, that's like something you can't spring that. Like, in the heat of the moment, you can't explain that away. You
Just
can't
ignore
say,
it. Ignore it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you could have an exceptionally large, even an exceptionally small penis, and just in the throes of passion, you're there, and it's just like par for the course, right? Like it's like she doesn't know what she's getting. It's a grab bag of goodies, and this is what you get with me. But someone sees that, and then you can't. It's gonna kill the mood immediately, but also too you're gonna scar that person forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the first
I imagine the first dick that a woman sees is just traumatizing, but you should not ever make it possible or give her the chance that the first dick that a woman sees is also one that's cut up and bloody.
Yeah.
That's not going to lead to a healthy sex life for her or you. That's just
Listen,
No.
it's not my fault that a bunch of fish decided to cut my dick up and leave it bloody for the woman to see.
So, kids, we've given you the advice to never have sex. We've given you the advice to not show a woman your bloody nutsack and penis the first time she sees it. So,
Your zipper.
let's give some more back-to-school advice.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about, man. And so I still do Ask.fm, and I get a lot of good and terrible questions, but it kind of just comes up to the fact that I get a lot of people asking me about hey, I'm in college, I don't know what I want to do, blah blah blah, whatever. And so I wanted to address that, and so that was what I would kind of go through, and maybe each of us can give a tip for them, and it can be in earnest or half joking, but some kind of serious tip that we can give to people.
Oh yeah, I have made a lot of mistakes in school, so I've learned a lot of things. I don't put them into practice, but I can tell you guys how to do it better.
So yeah, Tom, why don't you just go ahead and start it off? Give him a good tip for
All right.
college.
Okay, so
Back to school. Yeah.
I went to a zero-tolerance high school, so there wasn't much room to fuck around, because when I was in 10th or 11th grade, a kid brought a rifle in and blew his own head off, so after that it was very strict. So we couldn't skip class. I didn't do homework ever, ever, and I never did homework. And so you should definitely do your homework. All mine are going to really boil down to the basics. Do your homework, and then even when you think you're not supposed to do your homework, still do your homework, because that's gonna fuck you the next day. It's kind of it's just like anything else. You can't keep fucking up, because then you're gonna love it, and then you got to be careful. To quote Matthew McConaughey's character, Detective Rust Cole, in the first season of HBO's hit series True Detective, you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you get good at. Don't get good at sleazing your way through school, because it will end up biting you on your already bitten dick.
No, I can definitely agree with that, man. I wish that a lot of the stuff, I don't have the time now to go back and read a bunch of the stuff that I was supposed to read in college, and I definitely did skip over. I was an English major, and so I had to read a lot of stuff, and I didn't read a lot of stuff. I kind of just faked my way through it and whatnot. And I really do hate that I didn't at least just do that, because maybe I'm better at trivia or something, or I can talk about stuff, or just to have that knowledge. And I definitely agree with that. I'm very good at just kind of coasting off of my ability to bullshit. And I wish that I had at least just put a little bit more effort in it and read some stuff and got a little bit more knowledge that I was concrete on.
Yeah, I feel that. I didn't retain anything.
Yeah, I didn't read shit in high school, definitely, and for the most part in college. In high school, one of the first AP classes I took was U.S. history, and I kind of learned a little bit about how tough college was going to be. When that was our teacher's big thing, was this is going to be like a college course. You're going to have to do reading outside of class, and I didn't. And then the first test, I showed up, hadn't studied at all, and whoever you believe in was smiling down on me that day, because I sat down and they passed out the test and the Scantron, and the test you weren't supposed to write on at all, but the dipshit before me had, and
yes,
I just knew I was okay. No matter how stupid this person is, they definitely know more about this subject than me. And I read the questions, answered their answers, and got a B+. And that was this wake-up call that I should have listened to but didn't. Because then when I got to college, so I'm more beers deep than I usually am at this point. But my advice is,
I'm gonna go grab another beer right now. By the way.
by the way, I thought you were drinking Bud Platinum all night, and I was judging you heavily until you said.
No.
No, it's an import,
the
buddy.
Matt Blue Royale. It's Canada, buddy.
Shouts out. Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
especially people like just starting college, skipping class is fun as shit. But like going to class is way easier than you realize and benefits you way more than you realize. Like just showing up and being around people talking about the material, that's way. I won't say it's better than playing FIFA or playing Madden, but it's more effective for your future to just be there. So that's my big advice: is just show up.
Yeah, well, that's very much like how once you get a job, like just show up, right? Like you can, even if you don't want to be there, you have to be there, and then like just by being there, you'll like just save yourself from being fired, or like or like you'll get some things accomplished at the bare minimum. And so yeah, absolutely, man. Like I remember, I would want to skip classes and whatnot, and the thing that you have the advantage of in college, unless you do go to like a, like Sewanee University or something where everybody dresses up in fucking 3-piece suits to go to class. Like you can dress like a idiot. I mean, you can literally roll out of bed, put sweatpants on, wear like just some like house shoes and like a t-shirt or like tank top in the middle of winter and like go to 3 classes on a Friday or whatever, like, and no one thinks it's weird. So like, there's really no excuse, and like, absolutely, man. Like, and what happens is you'll early on in your semester or whatever, you'll think, oh, I can skip this. I got some days, my absent, whatever. But then like towards the end, when you're like you actually really need it to like not be able to go to it or something, like you completely screw yourself. And that was one of the reasons why, I shit myself. In my short story from last time, that I had skipped so many classes and I couldn't afford to not go to the whatever, like, so go to class, and then when you shit yourself, you can go back to your dorm and save yourself the embarrassment.
I had this was freshman year, and this is really what started my whole like spiral towards missing class all of sophomore year and almost failing out of college. I had my Calc 3 professor had Tourette's, but not like cuss word Tourette's, where it would have been like, this is probably terrible to say, but it would have been like funny if he just randomly, because I'm a freshman in college, so if some dude's shouting like fucking shit in the middle of class, like I'm gonna giggle. But it wasn't like that. He made these weird sex noises and he couldn't control it, and like,
oh my god.
So you're in class and he's talking about like talking about integrals and shit, and he's just like, and it's like, oh, okay. I cannot attend this. Like, this isn't. I cannot be here. So I'm just gonna learn this on my own and hopefully pass.
Oh my god.
So that I ended up passing, and so sophomore year, the whole year, I was just like, well, I don't need to go to any of that shit. And like, by the end of the year, I had a 2.4, and they were sending a few letters. Like, hey, if you don't get it together, we're going to ask you not to come back anymore. So junior and senior year were terrible and way more stressful than they needed to be. But, yeah, just go to class. Even no matter how weird your professor is, they've got something to offer you.
Yeah, man, just go, because, I mean, at the worst, you, like, ogle someone of the opposite sex and like maybe pick up like one thing that like answers the test question for you at some later time. It's
yeah,
like just go and do it.
That's where all the motivation came from for me, was like yeah, I mean, as I went through school, like I progressively went to class less and less and less. But like I learned pretty early on, because I went to a very large university here in Philadelphia, Temple University. Shout out! Thanks for blocking me on Twitter, you fucking assholes. I'm not paying you that $1,200 I owe you, bitch. But
Anyway,
Guys, guess what?
I learned pretty early on that I wouldn't go to class if I didn't absolutely have to be there. Like if you could miss a class 5 times, I'd miss it 6 times and then argue with the teacher that she had miscounted. I was really bad, but
Tom, guess what?
what?
Tony Stewart actually killed a guy.
Oh,
Hold on.
really? Just now?
Mm-hmm. No, it was like a year ago, but he did it on purpose with his car.
Wow, that's crazy to hear. I thought that this was like it was like very DJ Khaled voice, like another one. Like he's just out there just mowing down more people. Yeah, a lot. And some people don't know this.
Let's talk about this.
I was gonna say a lot of people don't know this, but Tony Stewart, he's a NASCAR driver. He drives a car, but also too, he killed a man.
He's a murderer.
A lot of people don't know that.
Quite honestly, his profession is the reason he's a murderer. He killed a guy with a car, and then he continues to be allowed to drive a car. Doesn't make any sense.
Now, we up here in Philadelphia, up north, we call that a hit and run. It's a term that the police have for a crime in which you strike either a pedestrian or just another stranger with your vehicle, and then you continue driving. But for him to do that and then essentially be paid for that is pretty offensive. And from what I understand, there's actually some people out there who don't believe that he hit that kid on purpose and thought in his head, "I'm going to kill this child with this car." But he did.
Honestly, there are people out there who are mad online. I know it's hard to believe, but they are mad online about me saying that he is actually a murderer. And here's the thing: he killed a guy on purpose, so he is a murderer. Mm-hmm. That's just facts. I can't change that. That's just how it is.
Also, I just want to add in here that totally separated from all this stuff, that Tony Stewart is a huge bitch. Just a real soft ass bitch.
Separate from what we're talking about, I would like to add that he blocked me because he's mad online. I mentioned to him on the web that he killed a guy, which he did, and he's mad about it, and he blocked me.
Tony Stewart is a big doughy bitch. That's for sure. And and here's the thing, man. And if you're gonna exist in this world, and you do a thing, you're gonna have to answer for that thing for the rest of your life. So Sexual Jumanji has never fucked, and then he starts up the campaign of Sex J will fuck, and then all these. And I can understand where it gets annoying, where it's like outside people that don't have an interest or care about Sex J or like making fun of him that are like, hey, have you fucked yet? And it's like, that's very malicious and harsh. But like, if you haven't fucked, then you have to answer to that. You know what I mean? It's like if you kill a person, whether on accident, on purpose, in what capacity? With a car, maybe you're driving a car. Maybe you used a car to hit someone. Maybe you're a NASCAR driver who gets paid to drive a car, and then you use the car that someone paid you to drive to hit a person and kill them. These are just a couple of examples of how you can kill people. And so what happens if you do that? If you do that thing, you have to answer for it. And to block somebody because you're like, oh man, this guy is telling me that I'm a murderer, which I am. Like if you tweet to me and you say, Boss Sauce, you are a big emotional bitch. I'm not gonna block you because I'm a big emotional bitch. Like I cry in my car at least once a month, and I understand that in my soul that's who I am. I'm not gonna block you for like telling me the truth. Tony Stewart, big doughy bitch, can't grow facial hair for shit. It's like salt and pepper and whatever. It's like he's way too young to be having that shitty facial hair. Like not a role model at all. Killed a man. Fuck him. And fuck him for blocking you, and I'm going to tweet right now to him to unblock you.
Yeah, you know what? I've also never killed a guy, and I've also never had sex. So, those two things are two things that Tony Stewart also has in common with me. So, you know, I mean, we have things in common, but, you know, I've never killed a guy, and he has killed a guy. So there are things that we don't have in common. And I feel like he blocked me because we are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's a murderer.
He really is.
He literally did kill a guy.
Yeah, no, I saw the raw uncut footage. He
No,
killed.
yeah, I saw the footage. You know, he ran over this guy on purpose with his car, and that's about it. You know, there's really nothing else to say about it.
Tom, I really
Hey.
can't believe Temple has their most famous alum blocked on Twitter.
You know, well, I wasn't their most famous alum until Bruce Cosby did a 180, and then or Bill Cosby. Did I just call him
Bruce Cosby.
Sorry,
That goddamn
all
Bruce
Jimmy
Cosby.
that's
Call
Bill.
it. Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I'm over here googling pictures of guys named Bruce, and so it got.
What?
Why?
And, just checking out different pictures of just what different Bruces look like. It's hard to. But
Wow.
yeah. Anyway, so I'm not the most famous person from Temple because Bill Cosby, also known as Bruce Cosby, went there, and I'm not even the most famous person from my tiny ass little high school because fucking Jim Cramer from Mad Money on CNBC went there.
Oh, fuck that guy too.
Bill Cosby, he's very famous. He's a very famous rapist. So, you know, you can't beat him out unless you start raping people famously.
That's true, and I'll probably never do that because
Yeah.
I'm impotent. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, you know, you're never going to beat out those people. But can we get back on my outline that I sent you guys like 3 weeks ago?
We got the whole outline.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Because I want to talk about tweeters I admire.
Hang on.
All right,
Okay, well, let's just go. Okay, all right. Well, here, let's finish up. Guys, give just a tip to people going to school, like a real life, like, you know, I fucked
Okay.
up in this way. I'll do it, and then absolutely we can close on like the tweeters. I think that's a good closing point.
Listen, honestly, if we're talking about tips about going to school, are we talking about college or high school?
Yeah, high school, college, just go. If all kids of all ages are going back to school at this time, and whether it's in high school, college, just like a tip to them to like not ruin their lives and end up like us.
If you're going back to school, going back to college, here's my tip to you. Take out as many loans as you can. Take out like $30,000 from PNC Bank, for example, and then throw huge parties with that money, and then buy a bunch of Iron Man masks, and then and you know, just throw humongous parties and act like a jackass. Then you'll be exactly like me. That's my advice.
Okay, that's the best advice that we've heard tonight. So my tip would be, and we said earlier, like, yeah, definitely if you move in like with roommates and stuff, and you might think that they're your good friends and that whatever, like, don't get anything in your name at all, because then you'll be like Tom. You'll just be on, your picture will be posted in every fucking Time Warner office, and like taught in the employee manual to, like, if you hear Tom Bro Dude, real government name this, you know, it goes like whatever. So anyways, my tip would be, so actually, like, think about what you want to do in some capacity. For me, I went to school, so I went to Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. My dad went to Clemson University. So I applied to Clemson, and I only knew about Winthrop because I tried to hang out with my friend one weekend or something. He was like, "Oh no, I'm going to Winthrop to like do like a visit," and I was like, "Oh cool, well, I'll just go with you," because I haven't looked at any schools. So I was like, Winthrop and Clemson, and so then I was like, I'm gonna get in less trouble at a smaller school, and I thought that I wanted to go into teaching to be a coach, to do basketball coach, and so I went, and Winthrop has a great teachers program and whatnot. So I like went, And then like I was like, okay, well I'm gonna get it. Like, what should I major in? And I was like, well, I'll just do English because it's like easy. Because like I know how to read and I can write well and I can bullshit really well. And then I was like, okay, so it's like at literally every point in my life, I was always like, well, I'll just take the easy route. Like I'm just gonna get an English degree. I'll just go to this school. It's like I visited 2 schools, and one of them like my dad went to. So like even if I wasn't qualified to get in, they were still gonna let me in. And so like I just was like took the easy route. It's like, oh, I'll just do this, and then you get out. At least for me, and it's like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, and. So I never, like, all this writing and freelance stuff that I'm doing now, if I had, like, the inclination or the thought to, like, really, like, sit down when I was in high school or even in college and go, what I want to actually do, like, after all of this, I could have had a jump start years in advance of all this stuff, and I would be in a much better position, I think, than getting fired from a job and going back to my old employer. So, yeah, so, like, to any kids out there, like, you've got so much time in college, and like even if you take Jacob's advice, you actually go to class. You take Tom's advice. You actually like do the homework. You take Ghazi's advice. You take Ghazi's advice and don't kill a man with a car. Like you got tons of time, and so you can devote that to like something like freelance writing or like doing video production or like trying to suck your own dick, like getting really good at that, and you'll have plenty of time to do it. So like just like really sit down and think like what actually do you like to do, and and then try to make some fucking money off that and use that time in college to do that. So that's my tip. So now that we have given now that we've solved all college and high school, we've solved the education system in America right here in 20 minutes. It's amazing what we can do on this podcast.
Hey, for what it's worth, to what you were just saying, don't, and this is, I don't want to get too deep into my own life, but don't follow what like anyone else has ever told you should do, or what your teachers have always said you'd be good at. Find something you actually enjoy. And don't go to a school that only offers one thing because you will hate it unless you're 100% positive that's what you want to do. So if for some god unknown reason there are actual like going into college kids right now that are looking for advice from a podcast called the Buttsketeers, I honestly hope there's not any of you. But if there is, and you've listened to this point and you've heard about Ghazi's bloody dick, like don't.
Hey, bloody nutsack.
It's the nutsack. Get it right, buddy.
I'm sorry, but like, don't listen to anybody else but yourself, and don't limit yourself with your college choice. Anyways,
I've got one more piece. I just wanted to add, just as like a general rule of thumb, and this can also really be utilized when you are a student. Smoke less weed. Like take the amount of weed that you're smoking now and then cut that in half, and then now you've got this much, and then cut that in half. I swear to God, things are going to get better. Now, I still haven't honestly figured out that advice, but trust me, it's good. Like that's some good advice right there.
Yeah, Tom's right. The amount of weed you smoke during college is indirectly proportional to the number of times you're run over by Tony Stewart. And quite honestly, he will run over anyone who has smoked weed. And he will get away with it. So don't smoke weed because someone's going to run over you with their car and they're going to get away with it.
Yeah, you might think that, hey, I'm just going to puff a little Chiba, and I'm not going to look both ways before I walk through the crosswalk, and if a car hits me, then I'll sue the university and I'll get free tuition. No, it's not happening because it's going to be Tony Stewart, and you're going to get nothing but a big you're going to be a big dead bitch. Yeah, exactly. You're going to get a gravestone.
You're going to get a headstone, and Tony Stewart's going to get off scot-free. And he's going to get off because he's going to ejaculate over killing you.
Oh God, he loves it, man. He's sexually perverse. So yeah, Ghazi, let's get back to this, to your checklist and what we're gonna do. But yeah, tell us about your favorite tweeters. People, tell us about it. Let's get into that, and then we'll close it
so,
up.
So I'll try to get back to my list real quick here. Tweeters I admire. Honestly, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I love everyone who follows me, especially, you, Boss Sauce, Tom Bro Dude, Trill Ballins, Oh Holy Butt, there are a few others, Murray Go Round, Fan Since '09, Garbage Person, Dr. Pizza MD. Honestly, I could literally just list my entire followers list because everyone who follows me and everyone who interacts with me regularly is just fantastic. Because, they're all total shitheads, exactly like me. And I totally love it. Everyone is a complete piece of shit, just like me, and it's fantastic. That's basically all I have to say. I've met quite a few of you in real life, and you all know who you are, and it's great. The people I've met in real life. Well, I had a very famous or infamous incident in Philadelphia where we went out to a karaoke bar, and I spent quite a lot of money, but there's a famous picture of me laying what appears to be passed out on a Philadelphia street corner. I'm sure those of you who have been followers for a long time know what this picture is, but yeah, that's out there. That's been out there since like 2 years ago, and it's great. I love my followers, and my coming back was made possible by those exact people.
And also, this has all been made possible tonight by Wawa. Gotta have a Wawa.
I swear to God.
For what it's worth, Ghazi did send this list like a week and a half ago, and it was a straight up outline. Like there were indentations.
There were indents. Yeah.
He was like, there was bullet point, and then other. Well, you're supposed to have 2 for anything, so he was like, this is the bullet point. This is what I want to talk about underneath that. Like it was very serious, and I think he did a very good job of touching on all his points tonight. Are there any other points you wanted to get to, Ghazi?
I just wanted to talk briefly about people getting mad online. And people have been getting mad online a lot. And that is, it's unfortunate because I've never been mad online. And people do get mad. I mean, have you guys ever gotten mad online?
I've never been mad online.
I'm mad all the time. Like my whole life is just mostly anger.
Okay.
I will speak up because I have been mad online, and I will tell you there's only been one time, and it goes back because I've said this on the podcast and in my tweets. I'm just deathly afraid of teens. The youths are going to be the death of me. So this was a few years ago. I was writing regularly for mostly junk food, and it was after Childish Gambino released Camp or something, and I am an unabashed Childish Gambino fan. I didn't like Camp. Royalty was okay. Whatever. I can make excuses and here and there. Overall, I would say that I'm a fan of his. But I was going off on Camp or something, and they're a teenage girl. She was in high school. I'm out of college at that point. Like a high school girl, said a thing to me, and then and it was so I can't even remember what she said, but it was so cutting and dismissive of me. I am so glad that I am a white man in this world because I wouldn't be able to even operate in this society being anything else. If I was a girl and had to deal with that cattiness or that what she said to me all the time, I would never have made it out of high school. But she said something to me and it just it was like it was so beautiful, like dismissive, but like aggressive, and then like just brought me in, and then I just kept getting madder because she would say stuff, and then and then she would just shade me and cut me with her words, and it hurt so bad. And like I mean I spent like an entire afternoon arguing with this girl, and like I felt terrible about myself, and like she accomplished everything without even trying to. And that was the one time that I've ever been mad. It was because I was arguing about Childish Gambino on Twitter with like a high school girl, and it was It was the lowest point of my life.
We've all been there arguing with high school girls on the internet. I know how that goes.
I've actually never argued with anyone online, and here's the thing. Tony Stewart killed a guy. Also, let me just say that Hitler was an atheist. I would like to see someone disprove this.
That's true. It's been written, it's been published, and one thing that we can all agree on is the delicious taste of Wawa hoagies. Wawa, gotta have a Wawa. Again,
I'd like if anyone out there is good at the internet, if you could cut a vine of Tom Bro Dude saying we've all been there arguing with high school girls on the internet while adjusting like the computer to show his nipples better. I need that for research purposes.
it's hard. The way the camera is, it's either nipples and not enough head, or no nipples and all my head. So it's like I want to give him the nip.
No, you're finding a good balance of nipples and head.
Story of my life, buddy. Story of my life.
We've all been there.
So I think we're getting close to the end here. I'm turning on draw. Tom, if you could go ahead and accept, and anybody else that wants to play with draw, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, sure. I can turn on the draw app, and then we're gonna have to draw on someone's face here.
Oh, it's yours. It's always yours.
You guys just paint me up.
So, did anybody else have anything?
You know what? I probably do.
I wish I were dead, as usual. That's about it.
I actually would just like to thank you all for having me on, and you know, I just hope everyone realizes that Tony Stewart killed a guy.
Kazi, we're so happy to have you back.
Here we go now. We got it coming in. We may as well get your screenshots in, people.
Yeah, hang on. I'm drawing another dick here.
Oh, you got one on your face now.
I'm trying to give you another one now.
Someone's getting dicked up here. Watch out.
Anybody got anything big going on this week they want us to know about?
No, I'm just trying to draw this dick on Justin's face, but the camera won't stop adjusting. Will someone please draw a dick on Justin for me?
We got multiple dicks for Tom here.
I am loving it. All of them. Give me them all. Yeah.
It's like a big cancerous dick.
All the dick. Jacob, you also have a dick attached to your face right now.
That's fine.
I do that.
That's quite a dick you've drawn there, Ghazi.
Guys, how many dicks are there right here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a fifth one coming in up here.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Oh, there we go. It's like it does a weird like thing. Anyway, so I will tell you this. Yeah, I would love for someone to draw a dick. I want to be memed. Meme me, please. It's the only way that my mediocre life will exist beyond when I perish, is to be memed with a dick in my mouth so that future generations can make fun of me. But I will tell you this. So we used to do a thing in high school where, and I'll back up so the whole camera can see, but we used to just like celebrate in a fashion where we would try to do it in class as subtly as possible, but where we would just like to try to act like we were just like taking the largest penis that could ever exist and times 100, and we'd just go like that. I don't know. I didn't see the screen. I don't know if it came through. But that's what we would do. So we would do that in class. So so I get to and I'll see if I can find the picture because they did get it like after I did it. But I played basketball in high school, and we were in the state finals, and I came down. I scored the first points for our team, and I got fouled. I stole the ball, and I came down, and I got fouled on a fast break and made the shot. And I came down, and I walked to the baseline and to our fan base, and just did that celebration where I'm throwing the biggest dick ever. Like, and this is in the University of South Carolina Stadium. There's tens of thousands of people here, and I'll see if I can find the picture. But I like get fouled and I come down. And I was so overwhelmed with adrenaline that just came down and just went in the middle of in the beginning of this very important basketball game. I'll see if I can find the picture and I'll tweet it out. I still have no dicks. I'm gonna draw a dick on my on myself.
I'm trying to, but it won't find your face for some reason.
Yeah, I'm closing the Draw app, and I'm writing a letter to Bill Gates or whoever the hell made this, and telling him that.
What a damn idiot!
I could be mistaken, but I think Dazi is now laying on the ground.
Hey guys. What happens if I do this?
That's amazing. I was always so like, you know, and no offense to you, I just like, why does this man have so many Legos just laying around, like at your disposal?
You never.
But you know what? But you know what? You know, to each his own.
A lot of Legos.
It is a lot of Legos. It happened. Yes! Our 9/11.
We brought down the couch. Oh my god.
Oh god. This is a day that we'll all remember where we were when this happened. Oh my gosh.
Is he alive? Gazi, are you there?
Yeah.
Nope, he's
No,
out.
he's off.
He's done.
I feel a little bit bad. Let's thanks everybody who tuned in. Everybody's still listening. That's awesome. We'll be back in two weeks.
And yeah, just thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks. You know, sorry for when we get stupid, but that's kind of what this is all about. We really appreciate all the viewers and everyone, all the homies tuning in. And another big thanks to Wawa. Gotta have a Wawa, and I can't wait to get that check in the mail tomorrow.
I love y'all so much, and I'm glad that we were able to witness that live. And I'm going to go get a physical tomorrow and be told that I'm going to die in a few years.
Bro, if you could get me a doctor's appointment too, that'd be sick. If we could just both go together.
I'll video conference you in and like just have him like, can you just like hey, I know you can't check his prostate, but can you just turn around and you just like look deeply into his rectum if he spreads it wide enough to like see that everything's good there. But yeah, tomorrow's my last day of really good insurance because my company was like, we'll pay your salary and insurance through the rest of the month since you worked so hard for us for 2 years. Here's a nice gesture for you. So like I'm getting it at the last. So I'm going in. I'll be like, like Gazi sent us a list of stuff. Like I'm like, okay, listen, like, all right, how's like all my stuff? Like, hey, I need Adderall. Hey, also like I cough a lot and it keeps me up at night. I think I need codeine. Like I have this thing where my my leg starts hurting. And it's like very sensitive to like touch or whatever. It's like neuralgia paresthetica or something. Like I looked this shit up, bro. Like give me some pain medication for that. Like I'm going in guns blazing, like trying to get every prescription and everything I can because my good insurance runs out tomorrow. So I'm gonna like hopefully just be able to go to like CVS or whatever and just have them just rain prescription pills on me tomorrow.
Oh God, I hope that happens for you.
I'm really rooting for you.
I'm telling them my dick is way fucked up. Like, yo, I can't even get a boner anymore because I'm just like depressed. I need the Viagra. Like whatever I can get. Like I don't even know if I like even if I don't even need. Like I just want the pills. Just like give me whatever it is because I don't have to pay anything for these prescription pills and like just give them to me. So hopefully the doctor is like mad unscrupulous. I looked up like in the area like some of the like worst reviews for like a doctor's office to like find because I figured that like somebody that like is not good or or that cares about user client experience or whatever like maybe just is like very unscrupulous and just like yeah man I'll just write you the scripts. That's what I'm hoping.
You I mean yeah you're down south. You got a pretty good chance of finding a pill farm.
That's what I'm hoping. Well, I love you guys, and next week I know Tom. So Kate, Piss Farter, she definitely wants to come onto the show, and so she's hoping. I think in 2 Sundays she said she'd be free, so we'd have our first female on the show. But yeah, that's that's as a heads up. So
Kate really knows how to. She can really pal around with the boys when it comes to dick talk. So it would be an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. And anybody out there, you guys have suggestions of anybody you'd like to have come on here and talk about something. I know that we've discussed a couple of people. We'll reach out to them and whatnot. But, any feedback is great, and we love you all so much. And keep on butt skeeting.
Skeet those butts, baby.
I've been licking these dicks for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you have, man. It's been sensual. It hasn't taken over the big screen because you haven't been talking, but trust me, man. You see this one hand up here? You know where the other hand is? Not on the mouse. I'll tell you that much.
And with that, folks, good night.
I love you all.
Take care of your dicks, but don't really.